Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. First of all, congratulations for clearing CFA Level 1, and I'm really thankful for all the support that you guys have showed me for my video on how I cleared CFA Level 1. Like, your response was very overwhelming, and I'm very glad that my video had put some insights into your understanding as to how to go about with CFA Level 1. So now that I have cleared CFA Level 2, so I have few do's and don'ts which I feel would be helpful to you guys. So starting with CFA Level 2, so if you see, CFA Level 1 was more like basics, it was more on understanding the subjects. But when you come to CFA Level 2, it is more difficult than what we did in CFA Level 1. Like, I'm not trying to, I'm not trying to scare you, but what I'm trying to say here is that you cannot take CFA Level 2 lightly just because you have cleared CFA Level 1. You need to understand that the people who are appearing with you for CFA Level 2 are the ones who are able to clear CFA Level 1. So you can definitely not take it for lightly or take it for granted. That is the very first thing. Now coming to the number of time that you should be devoting for CFA Level 2. So CFA Level 1, it was more on the basic side, and I had mentioned in my previous video as well that you should at least give 6 months of time. Now when I come to CFA Level 2, so if you are someone who, if you're a full-time student, then I think that 6 months should be enough. But if you are a working profession, then I would suggest that you give more time than 6 months, because like I'm talking from my experience that it's very difficult to manage work with studies. So it's very important that you devote more time, and that would mean like sacrificing your other aspects, like maybe skipping to go out, or maybe doing those stuff. But trust me guys, it will be worth it in the end. So for CFA Level 2, I would suggest that you give a proper time to understand the concepts, because from CFA level, like in CFA Level 1, what we had was that we had one question and we need to answer for that question, right? That was how the format was. From Level 2, the format is changing. Now they will give you a paragraph, and from that you need to answer the question. So over here there is a big passage from which we need to answer the questions. So usually how it works is that the first paragraph will usually be for the first question, and the second paragraph will be for the second question. But then here you need to understand that you will take some time to read the paragraph. So your speed, your practice is very important. Like, at least this is the problem that I faced in my exam, that I felt that the time was not enough. So, and probably that was like one thing which I felt. So this can be overcome with practice. You need to practice as many questions as possible so that you are able to complete the paper on time. That's the very first thing. Now secondly, the chapters for Level 2 are more or less same as what we had in Level 1, but it is more in depth, which means you need to have a proper understanding of each chapters, each subtopic. So it's very important that you understand each and everything really well, and it's not something that you will mug up and you will be able to do it. So it's very important that you have a proper understanding of what you are doing and what you are learning. Okay, so it's very important. So in Level 1, what I had mentioned that it's okay if you don't do any classes, because if most of you have a finance background, then it won't be very difficult for you. But if you don't have a finance background, you still find free YouTube videos. But when it comes to Level 2, the content is not so easy to understand, and even if you are able to understand, it's very important that you understand the concepts really well, because the aim is to not just clear CFA exams, but also to be able to use it in our day-to-day life or in practicality, right? To get a good job. So to get a good job, it's very important that you need to have a really good understanding of the topics. So for this, I would really suggest that you should go for some classes, because at least I could not find, you know, free videos on YouTube for CFA level 2. And now that, you know, the fees have also increased, so you can definitely not take a chance. So maybe I would suggest that you go and opt for some classes. So now what kind of classes you want to do depends on you. So you can either go for an online class or you can go for an offline class, depending on, if you're a full-time student, then maybe you can go for an online recorded lectures wherein you can watch it anytime as per your convenience. So this is what I particularly did. I chose recorded lectures because, you know, it's more easy for me to understand, and you know, I can watch it anytime I want, be it early morning or while I'm traveling or at night. So that was something that really worked for me. But now if you're a full-time student, then maybe you would like to go for an offline class, or maybe if you find it difficult to be disciplined, then maybe you should go for an offline lectures. But otherwise I feel online are better because, you know, it saves time and it's more convenient and you can watch it anytime you want. So that is one thing. Now secondly, it's very important that you devote like good amount of time, because even the lectures that you get, they usually are for like 200 plus hours of lectures, and on top you need time for self-study. So, you know, it's very important that you give proper time, and it means studying both on weekdays and weekends. So if you're a working profession, then try to take out at least 2 to 3 hours during the weekdays, and maybe you can study for like 7 hours something, you know, over the weekends. So you need to learn to, you know, balance it out, and obviously the hours would differ depending upon how well you are able to grasp the concept. But again, it boils down to the fact that, you know, it's very important that you understand the concepts really well, because CFA is not like you will just mug up and you will be able to answer the questions. So very important that you know the concepts really well. Next comes the formulas, and there are many formulas, I would say. So it's very important that you understand what is the use of the formula and what are we actually trying to derive from using that formula. Because, you know, mugging up the formulas may not work, because see, at home while you are studying, it becomes very easy to, you know, remember things, or when you're practicing to get the thing in your head, because at that time you're just focusing on maybe one chapter or maybe on one subject. But while you're giving exam, there are like you are appearing for 10 subjects altogether, plus there is a pressure of exam on your head. So it's very much possible that, you know, you would tend to forget formulas, or you might get nervous. So there are things that would happen, and at that time what will actually help is your understanding towards the formula, your understanding towards the subject. And that is where I feel that, you know, you should be working, because even in my exam I realized that, you know, I'm not able to recollect certain formula. So at that time what helped me was that I understood, okay, you know, what is the reason behind, you know, using this formula, and what are we really trying to derive out of it. So that is what that understanding is what that really helped me. Nextly, even in level 1 I had suggested that, you know, make a list of like write on a paper all the formulas and try to read it once a day, so that, you know, it gets registered in your head. So that is what even helped me. Now coming to how you should be going with the sequence. So obviously try with chapters which are more easy, or subjects which you are more comfortable with, and always keep ethics at the last, because even if you study ethics in the first, it won't really help you, because you need to again go through everything at the end. And like level 1 this level also I used special notes only, and that really helped me, because they actually summarize the syllabus in a really good way, and they make sure that, you know, everything is covered. So use special. Again, practice really well all the questions which are given by the institution. So even if you do not have enough time to solve the practice books given by special, but at least anyhow take out time to do and solve the mock test given by the institute and the practice questions given by the institute. And also make sure that you revisit the ones that went wrong, so that you know what really helped you and what did not help you. Another thing, I think most of you would be using it, but if you're not using it, so while you are solving the practice questions of the institute, make sure if there are any questions which you are not very confident about, so make sure you mark them as low in terms of confidence, or maybe medium in terms of confidence, so that during the last maybe last 1 month or last 15 days, make sure you revisit the questions which you have marked as low or which you have marked as medium, so that you know that okay, this is where this was a question I was not very sure about. So make sure you do that. That practice will really help you, because obviously in the last 1 month you won't be able to go through all the 2000 plus questions that the institute have given. Also, again, whatever the questions which are there at the back of the material provided by the institute, make sure you go through that, because there might be questions which are not covered in special or not covered in the practice questions provided by the institute. So these are major things that you should be focusing upon. And guys, again, don't take level 2 lightly. Make sure that you give enough time. 6 months to minimum, but I would suggest probably give like 8 months if you are a working profession. But if you're a student, I think 6 months should be enough. So yeah, that's all from my end, guys, and if you need any help, please feel to reach out to me and I will be glad to help you out. That's all from my end, and all the very best for CFA level 2. And if you need any guidance, please feel free to comment down, and I will be happy to share with you. And yeah, that's all from my video. Thank you. Bye, guys.